Danganronpa is a game about murdering your friends and then getting away with it. Today, we're gonna figure out, and we're gonna find out if we can survive the death game in Danganronpa by watching How to Beat the high school death game.
A violent robotic bear is executing students around you one by one, and the only way to survive is to murder someone without getting caught. What do you do? I'm going to break down the mistakes made, what you should do, and how to beat every single deathmatch in Danganronpa.
Wait, it's called Danganronpa? No, that's definitely an N, right? Yeah, it's definitely an N. Okay, so I've seen the plot for the first and second game. I think it's a really interesting series. It's a little bit wacky, it's a little bit out there, but the whole shebang comes down to you wake up in a school, there's about 20 folk with you, and the only way to leave, you're trapped in this school by a maniacal evil bear that wants to do murder on all of you. The only way that you can get out alive is if you murder someone else and then successfully get away with it. No one else is able to figure out that you did it. They accuse the wrong person. Afterwards, everyone else except you will be killed and you get to leave. Now, how do you win this? How do you get away with murder?
This boy over here is Makoto. He's been accepted into Hope's Peak Academy, a school for highly talented teenagers known as Ultimates. Being an ultimate means you're really good at a particular skill, and it can be anything. I'm talking sewing, knitting, animal breeder, martial artist, even serial killer.
Yeah, it's really funny. They allowed the ultimate serial killer to come into the academy of you have to kill someone. That seems like it's unfair. That's like having a wheelchair race, except one of the people are just like Olympic level sprinters and they're just allowed to run. Or it's like it's supposed to be a swimming race, except there's a shark in the swimming race.
Forget I said that last part. But I know what you're thinking. This guy is an ultimate? He looks kinda basic. And you're right. He won a lottery to attend Hope's Peak Academy, and the winner of that lottery is called the Ultimate Lucky Student. That's spooky. He's also rocking this ahoge haircut, which is his real secret weapon.
It's not that lucky.
Absolutely no discernible talent.
If he was really lucky, then he would have won like the lottery instead of been trapped into a death game.
This guy appears to actually have the worst luck possible. He's there in the academy to be fed to the wolves, playing against 14 superhumans in a bloody deathmatch. But on his first day at school, he takes one step past the gate and blacks out. He wakes up later in a dark classroom with cameras everywhere and windows bolted shut with iron plates. He finds a handwritten note that says the entrance ceremony is starting right now at the gym. So,
who wrote that? It looked like it was written by a 5-year-old.
He nervously heads over there to meet the 14 other students of his class. And
okay, there's 14, so there's 15 people to start with.
Along the way, the entire hall is also bolted shut with even more iron plates. Okay, that escalated quickly. Security cameras, reinforced walls, and bolted windows. If it looks like a prison, built like a prison, you're trapped inside it like a prison, and it probably smells like a prison, it's probably a prison. And also, anytime you don't remember how you got somewhere, you should probably be a little bit worried. And the best thing to do here is to be on alert and start treating this situation
nice LEDs.
Right now like a survival situation, because it is one, and don't just wait around waiting to find more clues. There's always that first moment when you see the warning signs, but people refuse to believe them. This is sometimes called the ostrich effect, and the technical term for it is called normalcy bias. Even in real-life natural disasters, or stock market crashes, or other calamities, about 70% of people don't prepare properly because of the ostrich effect. They basically stick their head in the sand like an ostrich to ignore what's happening. And our boy Makoto...
That's fair. I think I would probably do the same thing. I'm gonna be completely honest, right off the bat, I don't think I could survive the death game because I don't think I could... I couldn't kill someone. I don't have it in me. I really don't. Even to survive, I think that I would just let someone else, I'd be like, no, you should kill me, actually. I don't want to, like, inconvenience you. If you want to kill me so that you can, like, get out, like, that's fine. I feel you're probably, like, smarter than me anyway, right?
He's doing the same thing and he does it oh so freaking well, it's nauseating. The sooner we get over our shock and start thinking like we're behind bars because we are, the better. Even if all he finds around him are school supplies, a prisoner in this situation would grab some glue, roll up that paper pamphlet into a makeshift shank, and start stabbing people. No, well, maybe not right away. But in any case, you would find something.
That would even, like, occur to my mind. Maybe you try and find a weapon of some sort. Maybe try and find, like, a bat. I wouldn't immediately think, oh, I need to make a shank. I need to improvise a shank from glue and paper.
Protect yourself, just in case. Okay, he makes it in and sees all 14 ultimates. Each student has their own unique talents and abilities, and most of them are pretty damn cool.
Yeah, most of them are cool, but they're not that great. They're not like actual superhumans. Like, there's one of them that's like the ultimate baseball player, and then another one is the ultimate manga artist.
They don't know, however, they're going to start killing each other pretty soon. We've got Ultimate Swimming Pro, Ultimate Affluent Progeny.
Like, what does that mean? Ultimate affluent prodigy? That just means that you spawned in the correct place. That just means that you have rich parents. That doesn't mean anything about you specifically.
Ultimate Gambler.
That's a dumb one as well. Ultimate Gambler? Yeah, good luck. You go in a gamble, you always lose. How can you be the ultimate gambler? Yeah, go play some roulette, see how ultimate you are.
Ultimate Programmer. Ultimate Fashionista. That sounds useless. Ultimate Moral Compass. Ultimate... Guess we're going to find out later. Ultimate Baseball Star. Ultimate Biker Gang Leader. Ultimate Martial Artist. That would come in handy. Ultimate Pop Sensation. Great, we can sing people to death. Ultimate Writing Prodigy. Ultimate Fanfic Creator.
I think that there was a mistranslation in that one as well. I think it's not fanfic creator, I'm pretty sure it's manga artist.
And last,
because the ultimate fanfic writer is a fucking crazy thing to say. Not to say that there aren't really good fanfiction out there, but come on. That's what you're basing your Hope's Peak Academy entrance requirements on?
least, we demand.
Yeah, it's like having ultimate Discord mod. Ultimate Reddit subreddit creator.
And over here, and Ultimate Clairvoyant. That makes 15 total, including our beloved Cinnamon Roll here. And just as he and the pop sensation idol realize they went to the same school, oh freaking cute, they're cut off by the others because there's no time for that, and there's not. It turns out that the others were also knocked out when they arrived at school, and they only now realize that all of their phones are missing. Whatever's coming next, it's not good.
I really like the designs of the characters in this, by the way. Like, in the games, they look a bit weird. Danganronpa games have a really specific design in the game to make them look a little strange, but it's very unique. In the anime, they look great.
Now's the time to really freak the F out. In a situation like this, the ability to communicate is essential. Like the saying goes, knowing is half the battle. Which is why the enemy in war often tries to take out communication lines first. Just like I do with my ex. That sounded bad. Moving on. Without being able to communicate clearly, especially over a distance, things get messy. It's kind of like the telephone game you played as a kid where you whisper from one ear into the other and the message comes out totally jumbled on the other end. Now, most teenagers I know are very attached to their phones. If they got knocked out and woke up in a strange room, the first thing they would go to is to check their phone. That makes me think that the students here are more disoriented than they realize, and that the mastermind behind this game is intentionally trying to cause confusion. But by now, it's too late to figure all that out because... that's when a robotic bear appears on stage and introduces himself.
He looks like, he's a little bit like Subnoodle, right? He's not that far, you know? I could definitely see Subnoodle becoming some kind of murder game creator. I could see that happening. This guy's voice in the game is crazy. He's like, it's punishment time!
As Monokuma, their new headmaster. He tells them that this school is where they're going to spend the rest of their lives. And for a decent portion of them, they will. They are locked in and the kitchen is stocked with food daily.
Yeah, oh, food daily. Okay. Here's the solution. You figure out where the food shipments are coming from, assassinate the delivery guy, bang, zoom, you have a way out. Unless it just connects to a farm that is also locked out, which it probably does. But who's bringing the food in? Is it Monokuna? Kuma? Probably.
There's no escape, and no one is coming to save them. The only way the students can leave is by fulfilling their one and only assignment, killing their classmates. He doesn't care how they do it or when, as long as they kill at least one. This biker guy Mondo gets angry, and when Headmaster Monokuma insults his hair, he grabs the bear by the neck and lifts him into the air. Bad move, bro. Looks like there's a JoJo in this school too.
Oh my god, he did.
Crazy Diamond.
He does look like a JoJo character.
A new rule.
Violence against Headmaster Monokuma is strictly prohibited!
Or something like that. And
Good voice.
starts emitting a beeping sound while his red eye begins to flash. Question mark girl over here warns the boy to throw the bear, and he does it just in time before the robot explodes. The students think they're fine.
It's really funny because if he just held on to him and let him blow up, but because he was standing in the middle of everyone, that the game would have been over. It would have just blown everybody to little bits, and that's it. Monokuma has no game to play.
Finally free, but are quickly proven wrong when Monokuma reappears seconds later, back in one piece. I would be very freaked out right now. He tells the students that he will let them off with a warning this time, but the next time they attack him, he will kill them. Okay, talk about impossible graduation requirements, but honestly, not a bad deal. We know so far from the rules that there's plenty of food to last them forever, And sure, the only way we can get out is by killing somebody, but I'm good. Do I have my own room in this place? I'll just hang out there from now on because I want to stay alive. So that's my #1 rule for beating Danganronpa. Just stay in your damn room and don't get out except for food, and when required by the rules of the game. Now,
Well, then you just get clapped when you go up for the rules, for the food. And you can't leave unless you kill someone and you get away with it. Or there's no one left. You got down to the last trial and you win. You beat everyone. So you need to be really smart.
Definitely not doing is trying to harm this psycho robot bear in any way. That thing is way too damn powerful.
And also, when you're in this kind of situation, you're just going to be looking for a way out. You're going to be trying to link up with the people, trying to figure something out. You travel around in groups of at least 3, preferably more at all times, so you don't get destroyed by someone just randomly. But you're not just going to sit in your room. You're not going to have everyone just agree to go and chill in their rooms the entire time. They're going to be, no, I'm going to go look for a way out. I'm going to assassinate the food delivery guy or something like that.
I'm not rebelling against it, and even if someone else does, I'm getting out of the way. But even though I'm definitely going to avoid this bear and try my best to avoid any of his crazy challenges, don't get me wrong. If he orders me to do something, I'm going to do it.
Fair, I think. Also, someone in chat just made a really good suggestion. Just poison all of the food and then you will win. But you have to do it with a slow acting poison so that nobody notices until it's too late. And then you just don't eat. You fast for a day. You do a Giga Chad Sigma male fast where you just don't eat for a day.
That's my rule #2 for beating Danganronpa. If you want,
you can only kill 2 people max. Oh, true.
Don't mess with Monokuma for Pete's sake! You hear that, Kaito? Excuse me. But let's assume you decided you just can't abide by rule #1 and stay in your room, and you do want to get out of here. Well, in that case, by simple analysis, we can see that there are 2 ways out. Either you win the game, obviously, or you escape. Instead of choosing, I tried playing both sides here, looking for opportunities to pull off a kill while also making alliances, and looking like I'm trying to help the other students escape. This is a life and death
You become a prime manipulator, which I'd be so bad at because I'm the worst liar on the planet.
situation, and I'm taking it seriously and not sticking my neck out for these strangers. I don't know them. The students come to an agreement that they won't kill each other and decide to look for another way out instead. But filthy freaking rich Byakuya here is suspicious that there are students already plotting to turn on each other. He chooses to investigate
he's right.
on his own. Man,
that's dumb as bricks though. I can't believe he's already like, well, I think that there are people already planning to do murder. I'm going to go off by myself and announce it to everyone that I will be alone. So I'm going to leave, and I sure hope no one kills me out there when I think that people might be going around pretending or acting like they're gonna kill people. I hope no one kills me, even though I think people are gonna kill me.
He's so freaking rich he can buy you, but he's so damn snarky and indifferent you just know he wouldn't want to. Is it possible to dislike someone but absolutely love them at the same time? They find out every area of the academy except the first floor is locked, that the kitchen is fully stocked just like the bear said, and a new rule, nighttime is from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. and some areas are off limits.
Well, you go to bed by 10, what are you, a square?
The gambler Celeste takes control of the
I go to bed by 10.
situation and gets everyone to agree not to leave their rooms at night. She's my favorite. I think she's fire. But after 3 days,
I love her
Principal
design.
Monokuma gets annoyed at their lack of progress and decides to introduce a horrible new element to the game, motives. He gives each student a DVD labeled with their name, showing them horrific videos of their loved ones that make it clear they are either dead or in danger. Now they have to get out. Let the killing begin. Our idol girl, Sayaka, is seriously traumatized. She asks our Makoto here if she can sleep in his room tonight, and this sucker actually says yes, and goes himself to sleep in her room. He wakes up the next day, and she's found dead in his shower. That's
oh no! So blue hair girl says, can we swap rooms? And he's like, oh yeah, I think we should swap rooms. And then boom, she's stabbed the very next day. Guess she shouldn't have asked to swap rooms.
1 down, 14 to go. Okay, no. Don't let this girl's innocent looks fool you. This idol girl was one of the most dangerous competitors here. From the beginning, I thought, she's harmless, but she's not.
It's crazy because she's set up at the start of the game to be like this really important character that's gonna follow the main character throughout the entire thing. They're gonna be like besties. maybe more, who knows? And then she gets immediately killed. Frame 1.
The training regimen to become an idol is brutally hard, and they'll do whatever it takes to win. Strict dieting bordering on malnutrition, sometimes 300 calories a day, intense exercise, 18-hour workdays, with media obligations.
300 calories a day? That's like 1 protein bar. That's insane. That's malnutrition. That's death.
And mean instructors that force them to repeat the same moves thousands of times, and the list goes on. She was as tough as nails. So that brings me to another rule to beating Danganronpa. Unless it's the principal Monokuma, just don't do what other people tell you to do, no matter how innocent they may seem. That's it.
Be your own man.
Number 3. Not that hard, right? So many people in this series just die because they do something someone else told them to. No, Sayaka, see what happens? This is Danganronpa, where you start thinking, wow, I love this character, I hope nothing bad happens to them, and they're dead. So don't fall for it! One thing to notice is earlier, the martial artist Sakura was saying Junko doesn't look like her magazine photos. Junko just laughed it off as just Photoshop. I'm sure that won't end up being a crucial detail later in the story. Now, the principal bear explains to them that it was one of them who killed the idol, but now he drops a new rule on them that changes everything. The killer will only graduate if they actually get away with the murder.
Wait, he drops that on... He drops them on them afterwards? I thought that was explained like right at the start. Dude, that's so messed up. You can't force someone to do murder and then change the rules after they do the murder. That's crazy. Little cheating bastard.
Last trial will take place where the students will debate the evidence and identify the killer. If the killer is correctly identified, he or she will be executed. But if the jury gets it wrong, the killer will live and the entire jury gets killed.
I don't know if I could do that. I really, even to save my own life, or even to save the lives of other people I love, like, I don't know if I could kill someone and then inadvertently cause the death of like 12 other people. I don't know if I could do it.
About pressure, but Junko here loses it and breaks our rule number 2. Do not mess with the crazy robot bear, remember? She yells at Monokuma here and steps on him, at which point she is completely speared in all directions.
Christ!
The spears are called Gungnir, the same name as Odin's spear that slayed the wolf Fenrir in Norse mythology, which is pretty cool. Now every other student...
Okay, that's a cool little tidbit, I guess.
I've seen her just get casually killed off before their very eyes. And the principal seems pretty nonchalant about it. I mean, he really doesn't seem to care at all. This is so messed up. They all got the message loud and clear. Do not mess with the freaking bear. That's 2 down, 13 to go. They investigate to find the idol's killer, and obviously everyone thinks it's our boy Makoto here who did it, and in a way I would kind of agree with them, because he looks very plain.
Well, he would be the only person that has access to this room, right? So I guess it does make sense that they would think that, because she was sleeping in his room, or she was in his room at some point, but it would be such a dumb way to murder someone and try and get away with it. To invite them into your room and then just stab them in your room. But in the anime, this doesn't happen in the game. But in the anime, Monokuma only says that you get to graduate if they don't figure you out, right? So at that point, I guess Monokuma or Makoto wouldn't have known that he needs to get away with it. He just thinks, oh, I need to kill someone. So I guess it makes more sense in the anime than it does in the game. But also, it's really fucked up in the anime that he just comes up with a new rule after a murder is already done.
And also, since it was in his room and all, Makoto, you goof. But thanks to a message left by the idol girl Sayaka, what they first think is the number 11037 is actually the word Leon upside down. The ultimate baseball star was seduced by the idol, thinking she wanted some alone time with him. But she was actually trying to kill him in our boy Makoto's room in order to frame Makoto for the murder.
Jesus Christ, they had an insane fight. This is a crazy thing. That's actually like not the worst plan. I mean, it's a really bad plan, right? So I want to sleep in your room. I seduce someone, bring them in, stab them, blame Makoto. I get away with it. I win. So that's the idea, right? She got so unlucky. I feel bad because in idol culture, you get absolutely dunked on already. You get put in this school, and she's like, well, I have to do the murder now because I have to go save my friends or whatever. They're my only friends, are the only people I know. So I'm gonna seduce this guy. Don't like this guy. He's ginger. Fuck this guy. Stupid ginger idiot. And then I'm gonna bring him into the room. Come into the room. And then I'm gonna spring a trap on him. I'm gonna stab him. But unfortunately, since she's on 300 calories a day, on 1 protein bar a day, that doesn't exactly build big muscles, does it? So she ain't got the physical force to stab him. He gets turned around and she gets stabbed instead.
On the DVD she got earlier, she saw that her pop group had disbanded and that all the other idols appeared to be dead, and she couldn't take it. Her pop group meant everything to her, and she was willing to kill for it. Poor Leon here just wanted to bang and fell for it hook, line, and sinker.
It is crazy that he just did self-defense and there's no way to get out of it. He got a bad end of the stick, I think. He was just defending himself, and the situation that Sayaka put him into meant that there was no way he was going to get away with it. Like, it was just hook, line, and sinker, right?
But because of his natural ability, in the last moment, he managed to defend himself from her attack and kill her in return. She definitely should have gone after someone less athletic, like the fanfic guy.
You could have popped him like a balloon. His body type is very interesting to me. I don't understand how this belly works. It doesn't seem to make sense with the rest of his body. Also, he literally, oh god, he has the colon 3 face, like actually on his face.
Guy here, or Weed Man, they'd fall for the bait and would be much easier to kill. So, 11037 here, the baseball stud, gets convicted and killed by Principal Monokuma in a batting cage by 1,000 baseball blows with a final hit to the head, just like—
Jesus Christ, that's, ugh. I mean, I feel bad. He got put in this situation for no reason. He gets attempted murdered, he defends himself successfully, and then he gets baseball batted for being found out that he defended himself successfully. How is this fair?
that shirt he likes to wear.
This is why gingers are oppressed.
12 to go. Okay, this new trial dynamic changes everything for me. The easiest way to get out and kill someone without getting caught is by just killing everyone at once. If all the students are dead, then that means there's no jury left to convict you, right? It's the—
Imagine thinking that in like the real world. Like, oh no, I've been caught for a crime. I need to kill the entire jury so they can't convict me.
really is restocked daily, and there has to be a way out if the food has a way in. So that means escape is still on the table. And I
That's what I said. That's what I said at the start of the video.
continue to play both sides. I would also take a look at these students and the major threats that they are. Question mark girl here apparently is a brilliant analyzer. Big Hulk muscular beefy girl over here is freaking huge. And anger management biker looks like they can beat anyone into a pulp. And
What is going on with his hair?
definitely seems off about the writing prodigy Toko. The only feasible way I see to take everyone out at once is by not using any weapons. I'll give you a second to think about what I have in mind. Right? Think about it. What is something that we
Poison.
can use that we can often find in the kitchen?
Wait, is he really gonna say my plan? I said this already. I literally said this exact idea of poisoning all of the food all at the same time so that everybody dies and they can't convict you. That's exactly what I said. People are gonna say pre-watched.
Poison. Now, before you ask, no, not cherries. Even though Japan is famous for their cherries and they are freaking delicious and I love them so much, yum. And they also
What?
grow in over 600 different varieties. It's a myth that 2 crushed cherry pits contain enough cyanide to kill an adult. The real number is
What?
closer to 100 cherry pits per person.
Oh.
Though I suppose you could kill anyone with 100 cherry pits. But potatoes, however, which everyone thinks are so freaking safe, can actually be extremely lethal to humans in small doses. Here's how. The part of the potato that we all know is called a tuber and is safe to eat, but the eyes of the potato are where things get interesting. If
Eyes?
the eyes of the potato get enough sunlight and moisture, the green shoots and leaves that grow from the eyes produce a chemical called solanine, which is extremely toxic to humans. Only an ounce, or about 30 grams of potato stalk, contains enough solanine to kill an adult. To put our plan together, we will need to harvest as many potato eyes and stalks as we can find in the kitchen. Potatoes also sprout pretty fast, so growing them is also an option if there's not enough potatoes on hand. But with the amount of food I'm seeing here, it should not be a problem to gather enough stems, which we can crush into a delicious breakfast supplement for the other 11 students. In turn,
Okay, yo, you just come out one of the days, you guys, like, guys, I'm gonna make mashed potatoes for everyone. It's gonna be delicious. I've made a vat of mashed potatoes, everyone. Go on, dig in, guys. Come on, who doesn't love a good bit of mashed potatoes? To be fair, no one can resist mashed
in
potatoes.
terms of timing, we need luck on our side to pull this off for everyone at once. But with the breakfast assembly happening like clockwork every morning in the cafeteria, waking up early and poisoning the food in advance is the path I'm taking. And also, just in case anyone survived, I'll pretend to eat some non-poison food that I set aside. With the headmaster constantly adding new rules though, we need to act on this plan fast before he limits us. And for the hardcore fans out there, I definitely would do this before chapter 3, when rule 11 is added. So this strategy only works if we're
Oh, rule 11 must be the rule that says you can't kill more than 2 people at a time. So there must not be a rule that says you can't kill a load of people right now.
Fast enough. Otherwise, we'll have to do it the hard way, escaping or killing and getting away with it. Following the success of the first class trial, Monokuma grants the students access to the second floor of the building. They gain new information as well. Our protagonist Makoto.
Which is crazy. I don't know. If your goal was really not to get found out or for the students not to figure out what's going on, why would you give them access to anywhere that could possibly give them information that would make them figure everything out and stop whatever your plan is? You just keep them in the first floor. They would never be able to figure anything out. The game would go smoothly and then you'd win.
Finds a letter from the former principal of Hope's Peak Academy claiming that the school has been shut down for a while now, which is super weird. He remembers the school being open when he got there, but his memory is fuzzy after that. We also get to know our cast of characters a bit better. The programmer Chihiro is being weirdly shy about going into the girls' bathroom. The writer Toko is obsessed with rich guy Byakuya. Fanfic Hifumi over here is serving gambler Celeste. Must be those frickin' red eyes that hit you like a truck. And good guy Takahishimaru and Pompadour Mondo compete in a sauna challenge that leads to a buttery smooth friendship. But
Look at them, they're bros. They're the 2 best bros that anyone could have. Also, you can die in saunas. Like, if you sit in a sauna too long, you die.
You know the drill. Principal Monokuma is not gonna have any of it and reveals a new motive to get his next kill. If no one is murdered within the next 24 hours, he will publicly reveal everyone's darkest secrets. Okay, remember
what's
our
that?
rule number 2. Definitely don't mess with Monokuma, but also don't play into any of his events or motives. A threat like that hanging over your head is enough to make anyone nervous. We've all got our dirty...
I don't know what secret could be so bad that you have to kill someone other than, like, you're a pedo. I think that's the only thing. You're like, oh, fuck, I can't have people find this out. Then they'll kill me next because they'll be like, oh, I need to kill the pedo. I can't think of anything else.
Dirty little secrets that we want to conceal. Mine, especially. Anyways, I bet Ishimaru's letter says he was once 2 seconds late to class, but I'd rather be embarrassed and stay alive than risk my life trying to kill without a well-executed plan in the first place. Besides, some of these characters are starting to grow on me and might prove useful. Question mark girl Kyoko is really helping us solve these trials and stay alive. Good guy Ishimaru here has a strong sense of morality, which will come in handy. Celeste is of course over here looking sizzling, and programmer Chihiro is just a sweet little bean with computer knowledge that could probably... Never mind. Chihiro is found dead the next day in the girls' locker room. The body is hung up with
God damn it.
bloodbath fever written in blood on the wall. That's 4
What?
down.
Bloodbath fever? Sounds like someone's trying to be edgy.
11 to go. They investigate and recognize...
Yeah, Makoto's secret was that he wet his bed until he was in middle school. Does Monokuma really think that is enough motivation to be like, I have to kill someone. I have to end someone's life right now. If they found out that I wet my bed until middle school, even though we're in high school now, so it doesn't even matter and I don't do it anymore. I need to kill someone!
work as that of the serial killer Genocide Jack. Bloodbath fever written in blood is their signature move. The bookworm Toko suffers from dissociative identity disorder, and it turns out that she's Genocide Jack, aka Genocide Jill, ultimate serial killer. Just look at that tongue, she's freaking nasty. But because the weapon used was a barbell instead of scissors, which are her preferred weapon of choice, and with bugle hair...
It's crazy that someone did enough research into Genocide Jill to know that their calling card and writ their calling card in blood to be like, I'm going to frame you. Didn't also do enough research to realize that she only kills people with scissors and nothing else. How do you miss that part? That's like the main bit. That's the headline. Murderer serial killer with scissors. That is the headline. How do you miss that bit?
Mondo accidentally letting it slip that last night the jersey Chihiro was carrying was blue. They realized Mondo was the killer. The color of the jersey was a detail none of the students knew of, and he eventually confesses he is the culprit. Biker Mondo's deepest, darkest secret that he didn't want revealed was that he was responsible for his brother's death, and programmer Chihiro's secret was that he was actually a boy dressed as a girl to avoid getting bullied. When Chihiro admitted to Mondo in order to ask him for help to become stronger and more manly, Mondo was jealous of the programmer's inner strength and killed him accidentally in a fit of rage. That is just so wrong. Mondo is thrown into a motorcycle death cage for his execution, where he is spun around until he liquefies into butter. And
what? Kills the little fella in a fit of rage because they have inner strength? Was that the same motivation as the game? That's dumb as fuck. What? Mondo butter, 80 kilograms.
ending up in a packaging with his face on it. Principal Monokuma loves his sick jokes and ends up eating pancakes, smearing butter on the cakes. But don't worry, I'm sure Biker Mondo is in a
I don't think Chihiro is even trans. I think that they dressed up as a girl in order to avoid bullying for not being super manly, right? I don't think they were necessarily trans. I think that isn't that right? That they weren't trans, but they tried to avoid the bullying. Yeah, they dressed as a girl to avoid being bullied for not being like as like manly and masculine as other men.
Butter place. Was that in poor taste? That's 5 down, 10 to go. Okay, if Biker Mondo would have kept his mouth shut and not said anything, he would have won. His line about the jersey was 100% unnecessary, and he was just chiming into the conversation.
Dude, I still don't get it. Mondo, what the fuck were you thinking? Someone comes up to you like, hey, I need to share the secret with you. I'm actually a male, but I need help to become stronger. Would you be able to like help me walk out? And the guy's like, what? Inner strength! Let me bludgeon you with a fucking dumbbell!
Winning Danganronpa isn't about being a good killer, it's about being a good liar. Not just eliminating someone, but getting away with it. That's why rule number 4 for beating Danganronpa is if you're not a good liar, just don't talk.
Yeah, straight up, I'm a terrible liar. I'm not gonna say a word.
It might seem a little sus, but at least you're not giving away free evidence, especially if there's someone else you can pin it on. It turns out rich guy Byakuya here did the whole Genocide Jack frame job, hanging the body and writing Bloodbath Fever on the wall. And his reason for doing that, I kid you not, was that he wanted to reveal some information and make the game more interesting. That is so twisted.
Byakuya, you insane person. Oh, that's right. That's why the frame. That's why she wasn't killed. He wasn't killed with scissors, because the person that did the murdering didn't even tie him up like that in the first place. It was Byakuya. He walked in, saw a decomposing corpse, or one that would be decomposing shortly probably, and thought, this seems like a really cool opportunity for some art. And just spent, I imagine it took a long time. I imagine it took hours to grab the body, like, come on, Jesus Christ. Just get the rope around your hand. There, tie that up. There you go. And then, another one. Yes, tie that up as well. It's looking good. Yeah, that corpse is looking really good. Let's just put some, grab some blood. Let's just grab some blood from the head wounds and just smother that all over the wall. Let's do a little bit of more art here. And oh yeah, that's looking pretty good right now. Yeah, when everyone finds this out, I'm gonna get so much information from this. What? No, I'm not a psychopath.
It's not even funny. This obviously makes Rich Boy here the main suspect. I mean, who does that? And the only thing that cleared him from suspicion was the fact that he looked surprised to find out Chihiro was a boy. I'm not buying that for a freaking second. If I'm the real killer, I know one expression won't be enough to convince everyone of his innocence. So I'm just gonna set back a little bit and let him take the blame for this one.
For a super genius business acumen prodigy rich guy, he didn't really think this through, did he? Because if he gets caught tying up the corpse, or if he gets caught doing his little art piece where he slathers his hand in blood and just makes icons on the wall, if someone walks in and spots him, I wonder what they're gonna think.
What I'm sure as hell not doing is confessing. Never, ever confess. Why would you ever confess? Why, Chiaki? If push comes to shove and I had to say something, I'm definitely shifting the blame to the serial killer or rich guy and causing enough doubt to sway the vote. In his office, Monokuma is seen talking with an unknown person, discussing the mysterious 16th student of the academy, and with the conclusion of another successful trial, the students gain access to the 3rd floor, which is actually not a bad thing, because if you think about it, more floors means more rooms means more options, more information, more possibilities of figuring a way out.
Yeah, I think the Mondo thing was a crime of what do they call it? A crime of passion? Where you got like caught up in the moment and was like, oops, I'm bludgeoning you now. Whoops-a-daisy. The Byakuya thing of like tying him up and the blood smearing that will never compute to me, I don't think.
Moral compass Ishimaru here is seriously traumatized by his bestie biker Mondo dying, and bookworm Toko is back to her normal self after a sneeze, and a new round means a new motive for our beloved headmaster Bear here. $10 million cash to the winner of this round. Woo, that's a pretty hefty sum. But Sakura here immediately responds, is life so cheap that you'd label it with a price tag? Isn't she such a freaking sweetheart? Gosh, I love her. Fight me on that one. I think she's
cool.
Or fight her.
She's awesome.
If you disagree. They find an AI called Alter Ego developed by the programmer Chihiro before he died and left in the bathroom where there are no cameras. That's a nice little bit of information to know. The AI helps the good guy Ishimaru come to terms with his guilt.
Well, it's a good thing the murder bed doesn't spy on people as they shower, at least. At least they have enough morality to not spy on you showering.
Grief over his gang leader's friend and death, which inspires him so much that he turns into a Super Saiyan and then flies over to frickin' Frieza Monokuma and kicks his ass! Just kidding, not really. But strangely, the AI also reveals an image it found of a few of the dead students being good friends. which shouldn't be possible because they just met each other. Could this have something to do with their amnesia? With this AI, they've gained their first serious advantage. But before they know it, the laptop goes missing, and both good guy Ishimaru and pervert Hifumi are found dead.
2 more deaths side by side. Did they die side by side? I don't think they died side by side in the game, but it is so sad that Mr. Moral Compass goes Super Saiyan, and you're like, oh, dude, this is sick. Like, he's gonna be a cool character. He's gonna do something crazy. He just went Super Saiyan because his dead bro that he loved and wanted to hang out with a lot is dead now, and he went Super Saiyan, and then he immediately dies.
Man, this breaks my heart. Ishimaru did not deserve to die. Hifumi, on the other hand, well, he probably wrote those Danganronpa fanfics online, so he definitely deserved it. That's 7 down, 8 to go. Hiro becomes the immediate suspect because of his last name, Yasuhiro, which is said by fanfic Hifumi in a dying gasp. But the clairvoyant here has some story about following a note telling him to meet after hours in the game room, and does so like a moron, getting kidnapped, which is exactly why we've established rule number 3, just don't do what other people tell you to do. The students are quick to point the finger at the clairvoyant, who defends himself very weakly, but the gambler further accuses Kyoko here, since she has no alibi for the time of the murder. The more clues they reveal, the more convoluted the story gets, because it's chapter 3, and why not make it overly complicated? But finally, in a major twist, they find out the gambler's real name is actually Yasuhiro, not Celeste, and that the fanfic writer actually assisted her in killing Ishimaru, faking his injury with blood from the nurse's office at first, and then later being hammered for real by the gambler. Celeste here completely loses her cool, but not wanting to be a sore loser, she admits it. She knew fanfic.
It's crazy that Mr. Fanfic actually decided to help Celeste do the murder. And then she was just like, yeah, fuck you too. You know too much. You have to understand, if you know too much in a murderous situation and they've already killed someone, they're gonna kill you too. They're gonna kill you too, man.
Hifumi was obsessed with the AI and reveals that she stole the laptop to force him into killing the perfect Ishimaru. Man, simps really are like shields in this series. She promised him that they would escape together, but of course, they can.
Why would he believe that? What does he think is gonna happen? Is he really just that infatuated with her? I mean, she has a really cool design. Like, the hair is crazy. It's going everywhere. But is he really that dumb? He's supposed to be the ultimate, manga guy? Surely he's written a story like this where one man gets manipulated by a woman's feminine, what do you call it? Feminine wiles. And then he gets stabbed in the back. Surely he's read a story like that before.
Can only be one winner. Principal Monokuma here is still eating pancakes and butter throughout the whole thing. That is so morbid and disgusting.
Oh, that's Mondo
The
Bar.
gambler leaves the key to the computer's location with Kyoko here. And in a fitting nod to Celeste's personality and love for European royalty and aristocrats, the gambler's executed in a vicious witch burning before being run over by a speeding truck.
I forgot about that one. That is so funny. She gets burned at the stake like Joan of Arc, but it doesn't end there. She also has a massive speeding truck launched into her at the same time for no reason. It's just so funny.
Celestia Lunderberg? More like Celestia London burned, am I right? That's 8 down.
Yeah, she was evil.
7 to go. Okay, so
I don't know how many of these characters are like genuinely evil. I think Celeste is pretty evil. I don't know if Mondo's evil. He's definitely a piece of shit, but like pure evil, don't think so. Leon's not. I don't think Blue Hair is evil.
Okay, Celeste gets caught referring to the victims as they before she should have known there were 2 victims and not 1. But she easily could have explained she was referring to the past victims of the last 2 rounds. Either way, I don't buy the fact that such a great gambler with an
Oh yeah, the serial killer. I forgot about her. Yeah, Genocide Jill, definitely evil.
poker face loses her cool this easily. She honestly orchestrated a brilliant and complicated plot, and it's amazing that in the time they had to investigate, the other students actually managed to figure it out. But that's what you get for trying to kill someone in chapter 3.
Yeah, she would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for those meddling kids.
It always tends to get a little too complex with 2 bodies. If it's me, I'd avoid the 3rd round and killing multiple students, since the more complicated the scenario gets, the easier it is to slip up, just like she did. Principal Monokuma revealed in this chapter that only 2 people can be killed each round, which means our mass killing strategy is now off the table for the rest of the game. But have you noticed something? Weedman Hero here, out of all people, is still alive and well without doing anything. This really
He's
proves
awesome.
to me you should just not be a hero in this death game. Don't draw attention to yourself, don't be a leader. Just protect your own safety and let the game play out. While the protagonists figure everything out in the trials, if you can't kill everybody at once, just keep your options open. You don't know them, you don't have to be friends with them, but you can have your options open. Play it smart, for as long as possible. Now there's another thing, they got seriously lucky here. If you gain access to a prestige advantage like an AI, do whatever you can to maintain that advantage. Milk it for all it's freaking worth. They are lucky to have it back, when they could have easily lost it for good and then they'd been so screwed. I would try to find some USB sticks to back it up, connect it to the school network so that it can spread like malware, and I'd especially try to see about hooking it up to the security cameras, which are notorious.
I don't think connecting it to the school network would work, because then Monokuma would immediately clock on that it's there and just go absolutely hog wild on it and kill it.
For being easily hacked. Usually they're just set up with the default login and passwords, and then hooked up straight into the internet, which is why it's so common for nanny cams to get hacked. And there are even videos online of hackers using the microphone on those to talk to and freak out parents. If
That is
hacking
insane.
doesn't work, which probably won't because Chihiro is freaking dead, definitely at least program this laptop to sound the alarm.
Yeah, you just killed off one of the best people that you have on your side. Like, having a good detective is one thing, that's great, but having a hacker in this kind of situation where you're surrounded by technology and everything is kept together by technology, it's a massive throw, Mondo, come on.
No matter who touches it. In a life or death scenario, protect your advantage at all costs. After the trial, Kyoko here finds the laptop using the key the gambler gave her, because she can do no wrong. She tells our boy Makoto about a secret hidden within the second floor bathroom that she found, like some kind of detective foreshadowing maybe? When Makoto goes there, he finds a whole bunch of confidential records and a note reading, "You must not leave this place."
Kyoto's like this secondary main character, or like the actual main character of the game. It's like she just pops up and gives Makoto side quests. She's like, I already found this, but like, I mean, you can go and have a look at it too if you want, I guess. I already did it, but like, it'd be cool if you figured it out too. God, there's no one fucking competent in this entire place. I have to do everything myself. Makoto, go look at the book. Makoto, look at the fucking book!
Suddenly, a masked figure appears behind him and knocks him out. And when he wakes up, he realizes all of the files have disappeared. While returning to his room, Makoto notices a strange smacking noise coming from the gym. He cracks open the door and peeks through, shocked to find the girl Sakura and robot frickin' bear Monokuma in a standoff. She says she's done working for the robot bear, and he threatens the life of her loved ones that he's keeping as hostages, meaning she was a mole within their group this whole time.
Gasp!
What a sucker punch. Now the fourth floor is unlocked.
She was a traitor.
Again, more floors means more options. The fourth floor includes a chemistry lab filled with lethal poisons. So as much as it pains me to admit we might not be needing potatoes after all. With the help of the alter ego AI, they find out more impossible photos of them already being friends in the past, and find out that the real principal was a man in his 30s who planned to keep them all in here for their own safety after a terrible incident none of them remember that happened 1 year ago. That would be shocking news to me, but it's time for another death, so Monokuma gets on the intercom calling for a meeting where he confronts Makoto's worst fears, and reveals that the fighter girl is the mole. He gave her the task of killing one of her fellow classmates to speed up the death match, because Monokuma is such a freaking twisted little evil bear. But in the first round, the idol Sayaka ended up being way too eager and acted first.
That's so funny. She's like, I had a traitor set up the whole time, and my traitor didn't even get to do anything because she went and killed someone immediately. I had all this cool. It's like a D&D dungeon master that has a whole plot set up, but the characters that are within the game just rush off and do their own thing and start like murdering people left and right. You're like, no, I had this like cool thing I was gonna do, and oh, man, you just ruined it. No, that's a cool thing.
Is a new motive to divide them up and get them all to no longer trust each other, and even be willing to kill by spreading fear and doubt. Principal Monokuma knows exactly what he's doing. It doesn't take long before Bookworm Toko is turned into Genocide Jill and goes after swimmer Pro Hina for speaking badly about the guy she likes. And Sakura cannot allow this to continue escalating. They find her later, locked in the bathroom, smiling and dead. Swimming Pro Hina is sure one of the others did it, because they look like they couldn't be happy.
That's so
the mole
sad.
was gone. That's 9 down, 6 to go. In the trial, rich guy Byakuya reveals the real cause of death was poison. Someone must have replaced it with Sakura's protein shake, and she drank it gladly. The swimmer takes responsibility for the crime, but our protagonist—
No, the protein. The one constant, the one thing that we should be able to rely on, a healthy supply of protein to feed our muscles. When that betrays us, what can we trust?
Makoto and Kyoko here debunk her words. The fighter girl actually ingested the poison herself and mentioned it in a note she left behind. She had to ensure the distrust she had caused was stopped, and her dying wish was for everyone else to make it out of the school alive. This honorable martial artist had a heart as big as her muscles. The others feel encouraged by the fighter's last words.
That's so sad.
Until the principal Monokuma reveals he caught Alter Ego trying to hack the school network and bashes his laptop in a grandiose execution. Okay,
Jesus
you gotta
Christ.
appreciate the victim is also the killer trick. Doesn't that just remind you of the 10 of Hearts death game in Alice in Borderland? Whenever a whodunit is set up by a person that wants you to fail, this is always an option that needs to be considered. And the robot bear wrote a fake letter at first from Sakura to try to achieve this exact goal. He made Hina think that Sakura had done it out of sense of guilt, in order to bait her to sacrifice herself and get everyone else killed. To which I have to say, don't do that. Hina here thinks that Sakura being treated badly is what drove her to drink the poison, and thinks they all deserve to die. That's why she set herself up as a fake killer to take everyone else down with her.
That's sneaky. That's so sneaky. Monokuma's like, oh, your friend was so bullied that she committed Sudoku. Don't you want to kill everyone else now?
Everyone who bullied your friend, including yourself, bless her heart. She even cried when the creepy fanfic guy died. But if you want to live, watch out for people like
She's
this.
too
Anyone
pure.
with emotions running hot enough to do something like this is a risk, and you should avoid them, and you shouldn't believe a word they say. After the trial, the 5th and final floor is opened. Makoto distracts Monokuma, while Kyoko does some investigating on her own. This leads to her discovering the existence of Mukuro Ikusaba, the 16th student, lying hidden somewhere in this school, the one they call the Ultimate Despair. Watch out for her. That means we have an additional person on our hit list. The next morning, a knife they found earlier is missing from our boy Makoto's room, and you just know things are about to get ugly. But this dude already got framed by his best friend, saw 9 people die, and is still keeping his hopes up. You just gotta respect that, and I would begrudgingly start to like him in.
He's like pure anime character, protagonist in its fullest form. He's like, listen guys, I know 60% of us have died horribly, but I really think that we can still solve this if we all stick together.
Root for him in a way. Thankfully, he's got a secret ultimate weapon hidden up his sleeve, his ahoge haircut. Okay, I'm done with the jokes. Moving on. In the gym, the other students are disassembling a broken down Monokuma unit. Kyoka here is nowhere to be found. The group finds a masked corpse in the garden, and they assume it must be Kyoko who died. Before they can unmask the victim, a bomb attached to its head goes off and leaves it unidentifiable. Finding
That's
a key
insane.
to the computer lab, the group are suddenly confronted by a fully working Monokuma. This bear just refuses to die. He reveals they are all being broadcast live to the outside world. And to make matters worse, a class trial is to be held for the corpse they found. Kyoko reappears to reveal that the body belongs to Mukuro Ikusaba, the 16th student lying hidden. Sorry. And a trial commences. That's 10 down, 6 to go.
Who killed the 16th student?
In any death game scenario, the assumption that it is being televised is reasonable. There is usually no reason to turn killing into a game unless it's for entertainment. And from
I mean, that's crazy. Listen, guys, why would we set up a killing game if not for a little funsies? Why we gotta squib game it? We gotta broadcast it. Do you know how many people would sub to my Twitch channel if I had a killing game on it? That's not true, though. Think Saw. Saw was never televised.
There's not that far of a stretch that you're being broadcasted to an audience. But now that we have that information confirmed, we need to be thinking about who our viewers are and how we can use that to our advantage. Most likely, if they're watching a show like this, they are the type of people that get bored easily and just can't enjoy enough regular programming unless the stakes are high.
This is like the murder version of the Truman Show.
Definitely explain the monochrome robot bear's behavior. And of course, there's another option, which is that someone is filming all of this, not for entertainment, but to send a message. I would also consider something else. If it's being broadcasted, we can also use this, possibly, to get a message to the outside world for help. We have to make a key decision here, because if we want to kill in order to win the game, we should assume the outside world is going to see us murder, and prison is going to be waiting for us on the other side. But if it were me—
I don't know if you would get imprisoned if you were genuinely held against your will in this murder game where it's kill or be killed. I think that you could make an argument that you had to do it, because if you kill someone in self-defense in the real world, say someone breaks into your house and assaults you and you murder someone in self-defense, I think that they don't say that that's murder or anything like that. You don't get put in prison because you did something like that.
I'd take it in the opposite direction, assuming that what we read was true in that note Makoto found earlier from the principal, that the outside world is in total chaos. And considering Psycho Bear Monokuma is this program's director, I'd go all the way and start thinking about what kind of favors I could get from him in return for good programming. This robot clearly likes despair, and maybe we could convince him to tell us the rest of the students' secrets. We can use that kind of information in key moments of the trial to divert attention to someone else. Maybe he'd be willing to give us an extra weapon if we agree to commit the next murder. And if this is reality TV, then the show must go on. During the trial, Richie Rich Byakuya accuses Kyoko of the murder, but Monokuma has other plans.
Yeah, this is the trial on the 16th student whose face blew up, so the body became unidentifiable.
He suddenly ends the trial and declares Makoto the culprit. He's given a wild execution called After School Lesson. That's 11 down, 5 to go. But wait, Makoto actually narrowly escapes his execution when a virus left behind by the alter ego AI stops the Crusher. Wow. He is lucky after all. Give that man a—
AKA, he has plot armor because he's the protagonist. That whole thing was completely crazy. They're just like, oh, actually, I'm stopping the trial now. You're gonna die right now. And then he gets plot armor saved.
Leaf Clover. Damn, he's lucky. Kyoko rescues Makoto later and regains her memories. She discovers that she's a detective. What did I say earlier about foreshadowing? And her father was actually the real headmaster of this school. Her memories were wiped because the mastermind sees her detective skills as a risk, and they were right. She's been figuring—
Yeah, I can't believe his plot armor is actually like a plot point. It's like in Yu-Gi-Oh, where the power of the Millennium Puzzle is Destiny Draw, which means that he just draws the card that he needs. He just cheats because all the Millennium items have some kind of use in the game, or they do something. Marix is mind control, Pegasus, he can read minds. Yugi just fucking cheats. He just draws whatever card he needs.
Everything out throughout this entire match. So our protagonist Makoto and ultimate detective Kyoko, along with her daddy issues, return to the school where they confront Monokuma. Kyoko demands a retrial, and Monokuma is forced to agree, because sticking by the rules is what keeps his ratings high, and he broke the rules in the previous trial trying to kill our protagonist Makoto. This time, the students will determine who the real 16th student killer is, and also solve all of Hope Peak's Academy secrets. In their investigation, Makoto and Kyoko here find a hidden room in the headmaster's dorm where they discover the remains of Kyoko's father, the 30-year-old principal, who had died long before the killing game started. In the open—
Why did they keep a skeleton in a birthday present box?
of the anime, we actually saw this man being launched into space by a rocket and coming back a skeleton. There's also an SD card containing video interviews of all the students agreeing to spend their lives in the school, but Monokuma pulls the plug right before the fashionista from earlier appears on the screen. The students each find pictures of the whole group together except themselves. In all the pictures, there's one student in particular who always has her face strangely hidden. Makoto realizes they all have amnesia, and Monokuma erased their memories. He figures out—
Wait, they just realized that now? A bit late.
Psycho Bear Monokuma is actually controlled by Junko, the fashionista we thought died earlier. And
Plot twist, baby! It was Junko the whole time! You thought she got stabbed? She's fucking alive, baby!
have known better. That is when the real Junko arrives.
Junko appears!
16th student Mukuro and the fashionista are twins. When we saw the fashionista die, that was actually her twin sister being betrayed by the real fashionista Junko. And the body in the mask—
That's her twin sister as well. Junko is so deranged. Absolutely crazy. Just murdered her sister just for talking back. Was like, okay, you get speared now. Also, when the twin sister, like the original Junko, was in the middle of like being speared, like if she was able to speak, that you just spoil the whole thing. You just spoiler alert the entire game. You're like, sorry, I'm gonna ruin the game for you. Junko is actually behind this entire thing. I'm a twin sister, blah. Like, you're dead. You probably couldn't speak though. She had like 17 spears in it. I imagine you can't speak all that much.
was just the twin's dead body used again. And in case you're wondering why the psycho-fashionista killed her own twin, her reason was so that she could enjoy feeling despair herself at the death of someone she loved.
What an absolute psychopath. Jeez, that's so deranged. You need therapy. You need more than therapy. You need 5 therapies.
Can't let the other 15 students have all the fun now, can we? It's revealed that all these students arrived in the school 2 years ago, but a tragedy struck the world and the school was converted into a shelter. It was supposed to be used to protect the students, but Junko had other plans. The tragedy itself, shortened from the name, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history, was also orchestrated by Junko, who possessed outstanding analytical skills and became bored with the world. Her genius brain that could predict almost everything perfectly became interested in despair because it was the only thing that was unpredictable to her. So she used a brainwashing video to drive a mass death at Hope's Peak Academy in an incident that was shared across the internet. It promoted widespread social unrest, protest against the wealthy and talented, eventually becoming an anti-talent movement that rapidly engulfed the whole world, becoming more violent by the day. She killed the headmaster and began the death match to broadcast it and create even more despair, erasing the students' memories of the past 2 years as part of her plan. Oh my.
Because she's bored? She did this because she's bored? Start a charity or something. I mean, that doesn't promote despair. Start an anti-charity that takes donations to do bad things to people.
That's horrible. Junko gives the students a final vote between hope and despair, now that they know what the outside world is like. If everyone votes for hope, they must leave the school. But if even one student votes for despair, the students will be stuck in the school forever, and Makoto will be executed. All the students...
What? Imagine if Hina in the background's like, actually, I really don't like Makoto. He kind of sucks. I think we should just kill him.
For hope, and the trial ends. It turns out the real way to beat Danganronpa is to have an ahoge, be the male protagonist, and give them nice inspiring speeches and hope again and again until people trust you. So just put some gel in your hair and make an ahoge, and you should be good. Junko gives herself the ultimate execution, a combination of all of the previous executions. Now, finally, the last...
Yeah, that's great. Oh, we don't even get to see that? I think we should watch it. Okay, this is Junko's death. Yeah, if she wanted to feel true despair, then she shouldn't have killed herself, because you can't feel anything when you're dead. Oh, here we go. Oh, it's a big one. Look at all this. Dude, how much did this cost to put together? Like, you have construction workers in for years to make this kind of shit happen. Look at all this, man. What was the contractor expense like on this? Super duper nasty torture. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna feel some despair here. Oh, she loves it. She loves the pain as well. Motorcycle death cage. Yeah, she's just having a good time. The witch hunt. Does she get hit by the truck? Okay, she gets squished by the truck, so she's already dead. Oh no, she's come on, man. She got squished by the truck. Come on. Oh, the space journey as well. That's how the headmaster died. Oh, she went into space. There you go. Detention as well. Somehow she is still alive here. I'm not really sure how that's happening. But she's having an absolutely fantastic day. Not a scratch on her. And then, oh, there she goes. And that is how Junko dies. And then they are set free.
Students escape from their prison. They believe the danger is behind them with Junko dead, unaware that Monokuma is still alive. I sure hope they find a rock or something to hide under.
And that's how you beat Danganronpa. So if you were curious at all, when you're set in a death game in the middle of a school, that's how you get out of it.